when I work with the young people and children that I work with, an idea that as a professional I've got power because I've been given that power as a professional, but I actually want to be able to impart on those young people the ability to use their power as children and young people to influence change around them. And so I see my role as to empower them to do that. And the method that I suppose I really value is using participation, because it means that it's not about me and my agendas, but it's actually about hearing their needs and then giving them the space and the time and the skills and the abilities to be able to get involved and make changes. So I suppose I can give several examples of the way that I've done it, using right from the beginning, where I've perhaps been doing one-to-one sessions and I've heard something that is a negative. So for example, at the moment, which is probably very relevant to sort of education and everything, was hearing from lots of different young carers that they were having negative experiences at school. They were being bullied and they didn't know how to deal with that. They didn't feel that the school was going to be able to help them very well. Maybe they were struggling to get their work done because they were tired and they'd been having lots of problems at home, but they didn't want to tell the school because they were worried that they would use it inappropriately, talk about it when they weren't there. Lots and lots of different things that were coming out. And so out of that, I wanted to be able to sort of, rather than just try and do individual work with the schools, actually help those young carers come together as a group, empower them to be able to make some big differences to their schools. And so we brought lots of different young carers together and we asked them to sort of pull together their experiences of school, good, bad, everything, and then to be able to say what would make a difference to you, to be able to change your experience of school. We got them to all write it down. We used lots of different activities. It was a really fun day. They all sort of brought everything together, and out of that we were able to make a school information pack and a policy that ran alongside it. And then we're able to go into schools now, and we're just beginning that process of asking schools to put in place a policy and to run the school packs. And also we're trying to change this idea in the school that actually it's really important that the young carers are involved in that process within their school, and that will then it will give the young carers that confidence to talk to the schools, because the schools are saying, well, why don't you just tell us who the young carers are? And I'm like, no, you can't do that yet, because the trust isn't there. We need to change the culture in the schools so that the young carers will talk. You can't have the young carers come to you first. They're saying, I'm not safe yet. And so it's about letting them change and make things safe for them to be able to explain to the school, this is what I need as a young carer. And through that process, and I've had loads of really exciting conversations with young carers at the moment about what difference does that make. Okay, so it's going to make a difference in their school, but what did the process of being involved in that, what difference did that make? And we were talking about how, I can't remember, there was this word and it was called making citizens or something, and we were talking about, well, is that what participation's about? What does making citizens mean? And I got quite excited about it, because I said, well, actually what I believe that I do when I'm doing participation work, which is I do it all the time with everything that I do with the young carers, I'm always trying to think, how can they be involved, how can they do it, is I'm actually giving them skills that beyond me, because I'm not there all the time, the young carer service isn't there all the time, but beyond me, they can then decide what they want in their life and how to get it. So actually they then create this confident person who can say, this is what I want, this is me, this is important to me, and this is how I want it to happen, and to then change their lives, really change them from being shy, quiet, maybe scared kids into confident, happy, and kids that take control of their lives and actually move on and do the things that they want to do, opening up ideas that they never thought were possible.
Great.
And just, and I'm seeing it, and I'm starting to have the conversations with the kids. Do you think that happens? They sort of look at me and they go, yeah, you know, and you suddenly see this. I do that now, and I didn't do that before I started to come to young carers, you know. Before, I just accepted it and it all just happened to me. And now I actually have the ability to say no, to change things, you know, be assertive about things, but to do it in a way that's not sort of, they're all really lovely, you know, they're all, that you see it changing in them, and, you know, sometimes they go a little bit over the mark and you kind of reel them in and you go, you know, you don't have to be nasty about this now, and just because you're confident, actually that gives you a real safety that you don't have to be horrible to anybody else, you don't have to be nasty about anything, because you're really sure of who you are now, and you can actually do that in a really gentle, kind and helpful way, and you kind of see them going, oh, yeah, I can do that, and they kind of readjust their behaviour again, and then they go on and they become, I don't know, I suppose rounded people, or, you know, but really exciting people with their own minds and their own, you know, it's really exciting to see it. And to me, that's what I value about the work I do. I mean, all the little bits of day-to-day work, to me that's where it's all heading to, and it's all about being able to then take you out of it, so it's not about me anymore, and that when I'm not there, it would all be the same, you know.
Can we just take that in when you say it's not all about me? Excuse me, and I feel I understand what you mean. And what I'm just curious about is,